She's a diamond. She's a diamond girl. She's a diamond. Diamond, diamond, diamond.
Hi YouTube, it's Princess Diamond. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. So I got my septum piercing a little while ago, and since I've had it for some time now, I decided it's a good time to record a video on my experience of getting them, my healing process time and all of that good stuff. But first, I just wanted to make a quick disclaimer and just say that if you don't like septum piercings, or you think they're ugly, or you have a strong negative opinion on them, then this video is just simply not for you and you can just exit kindly. This video is not to try to persuade you to get a septum piercing. It's not to try to persuade you to not get a septum piercing. I'm just on here to share my experience of me getting my septum piercing and allow those who already have an interest in septum piercings or are thinking about or wanting to get a septum piercing to be able to get some information from me on just my experience, my personal experience. So that's just what this video is for. I have been wanting to get a septum piercing for a while. I thought about it for a while and was kind of on the fence of it. I wasn't sure if I really wanted to get it, if I would even like it, but I did decide to go ahead and get it. And the reason being is because, for one, I just think it's cute. I like the piercing in general. I like the way it looks. For two, I figured that if I didn't want to show it for any reason, after doing some research, I realized that I could actually flip the jewelry inside. So I could flip it back so it would not show. If for any reason I didn't want it to show. And then also, I realized that if I didn't like it, I could just take it out. And if it wasn't healing right, or if it left a scar or a hole or whatever, it wouldn't be visible because the piercing is done inside my nose, so you would not see it. So again, I could take it out and just continue with my life if I decided that if I got it and decided that I didn't like it. Okay, so where do I start? So let me start with how the piercing was done. So I got my piercing done on June the 4th. So today is August the 9th. No, August the 10th. What's today? Today's the 10th? Okay, so I got my piercing on June the 4th, and we are now in the beginning of August. So I've had it for a good 2 months now. And I got it done at Lucky Gal on the south side of Des Moines, and I can't remember the young lady's name who did it, but if I can find it on their website, then I'll probably leave it on the screen. But she so when I got there, what she pretty much did was she checked my nose first to make sure that I was able to get the piercing, because where the piercing is done is it's in between your cartilage. So it's pretty much, I guess, just skin, but it's called a sweet spot. It's just a spot in between your cartilage, and that helped with it not being painful. And so she had to check it to just make sure that there was enough space, I guess, and that it was narrow enough, or whatever the case may be. So that is one thing that to keep in mind is not everybody, I guess, can get this piercing, just depending on your nose. This was my 9th piercing, I believe, and that's not including any piercings on my ears, but 2 of which I had gotten re-pierced in the same spot. But yeah, this is my 9th piercing, and overall I would rate this piercing probably a 2, maybe a 2.5. It didn't hurt much. When I got there, the lady, she told me that the worst part would be the clamp, and she was right. The clamping was the more painful than the piercing itself, and that was just because she was pretty much pinching my nose with the clamp, trying to find that sweet spot. It just felt like just a regular nose piercing. My eyes did water. Of course, your eyes are going to water with a lot of nose piercings, but it wasn't painful. The pain was really tolerable. I've even seen a lot of videos, and I don't think I've seen anyone say that a septum piercing really hurt. But I mean, just take that with a grain of salt, because everyone's pain tolerance is different. So when she pierced it, I told her that I didn't want a big ring. So she actually went down a size than what she normally would put in for the jewelry. So the piercing gauge is 16. And I think that's average what you would normally start out with, but the gauge is just the thickness of the bar, and then the jewelry, like the ring size, is I believe 8 millimeters. And like I said, I went down a size than what she normally would have used. So she normally would have probably used like a 10 millimeter, but I told her that I really wanted a small jewelry. And she even told me that out of all of the years she's done this piercing, this was the first time that she used this size jewelry to pierce. So, but I liked it. Like I said, I didn't want something that was hanging really low, or touching my lip or anything like that. I just wanted it just barely. I think I could even go down like a little bit smaller and I'd be fine with it, but I like how it's just barely there, right? So she told me that the healing time is about 4 to 6 weeks. My piercing healed, I would say, about 4 or 5 weeks. After she pierced it, she gave me this mist spray to clean it. She told me to clean it twice a day, morning and night, every single day until it was completely healed. That's exactly what I did. I did not skip a single day. And I'll try to find a picture of it and just show you guys right here. You can also get it on Amazon. She told me that I could also use sea salt, but I just decided to just go with what they had at the shop. So yeah, so I cleaned it. And how I cleaned it was with a Q-tip. I just took the Q-tip, sprayed it with the mist spray, and then just cleaned on both sides and moved the piercing around just to make sure that it wasn't healing in just one place. Healing was fabulous for me. I had no issues with the healing process. Like I said, I cleaned it twice a day, morning and night, every single day. But here's what got me. So when I got the piercing, my first worry was that I would like hit it or bump it while I was asleep. And so I was really worried about that to the point where like I got home that night and I just kept telling myself, like, do not touch the piercing, do not touch the piercing, do not touch it. Like before I went to sleep, I kept saying that to myself. I guess I wanted to put it in my subconscious so that I wouldn't rub it in my sleep. But I had no problems with that whatsoever. After a couple, I would say maybe after like 2-3 weeks-ish, the piercing ball did come out in my sleep, and then the piercing jewelry came out all together. And when I woke up, I was kind of worried that it was going to close, because that's what's happened with my nose piercing. Once it comes out, if I don't put it immediately back in, it just closes. It just closes so fast. So I thought it was going to close. First of all, I was worried I wasn't going to find the jewelry. Thank God I was able to find it. And I thought it would not go back in. I knew that it was not 100% healed. So I was worried that it would hurt trying to put it back in. It was not painful. It went in easily. The only issue that I had was getting the ball back on, which I didn't even have the ball. I lost the ball. I had to order a new set and I just got it from Amazon because I was being lazy. I originally told myself I would go back to the piercing shop and just get the jewelry that they have, but I don't like to drive and it was a waste for me. So I kept procrastinating and putting it off for so long, and a couple days went by. And I realized that I needed to get this jewelry. So I just ordered it off of Amazon. And then so during the days where the ball was missing, where I didn't have it, I had to wear the piercing like this. So this side would be the one where the ball was missing. So it kind of just looked like a regular like hoop ring piercing. So I wore it like that for a while. And like I said, this was still within the healing process. So I wore it like that for a while. I didn't have much of an issue. Again, I still cleaned it as normal until I purchased the new jewelry from Amazon. When that one came in, I switched it out. So I switched out this ring with the new ring, and it started to get irritated. So I think I kept it in for a couple days, and I realized that it was irritating it, and it was starting to bleed. So I took it out, and what I did was put this original jewelry back in with a new ball. So you might be able to see it, you might not, but this is the original ball, and then this is the new ball. It's a different color, but you can't really tell unless you're really close. Using the new ball because I lost the other one, and the original jewelry. So I had to go back to the original jewelry because it was irritating it. So yeah, I should have just went to the original. I should have just went to the piercing shop and had them do it. But nonetheless, it didn't really affect much. It was irritated within those couple of days that I had the new jewelry in, but I took it out. As soon as I took it out and put the original one back in, it went back to healing as normal. Like I said, it healed within 4-5 weeks-ish. So even with me doing all of that to it, it still healed within the time frame that she told me it would. Obviously, during the healing, it was sore. The piercing was sore, so I could not like touch my nose. I couldn't obviously bump it. I couldn't be rough with it. But once it was healed, now I can touch my nose with no issues. I can move it around. I can flip it. But yeah, it's completely healed now. I have no issues. I can take it out if I want to and put a new jewelry, which I'm not going to do. I like this one. I'm just going to keep it how it is. Two things that I really found irritating with this piercing was, for one, it's hard to put the ball on, especially since I had nails at the time that I was switching it out. So the ball is just really small. So it's really hard to to mess with it and get it tightened. And then another thing is that the jewelry moves around a lot. Sometimes throughout the day, it will turn by itself like this. It'll turn like that. So it just gets uneven. It's really annoying. I have to constantly check it to make sure that it's even. So I have to constantly check it to make sure that it's even. So I think that's another reason why I kind of just want to see if I can go down another size and see if I can get it a little smaller to where the balls are kind of just touching right there at the tip of my nose. That way it's not moving around too much. I think that may help with it moving throughout the day. But those are the two things. Those are the only two things I think I can think of that are really irritating with this piercing. I still kind of clean it every now and then because obviously boogers, I just want to make sure that it's clean, but it's completely healed for as far as right now. And like I said, I can flip the jewelry inside my nose if I don't want to show it for whatever reason. So I'm going to show you guys that. I am going to be in my nose. Okay, so yeah, now you can't even tell that I have a septum piercing. So if for whatever reason, let's say if I had a job that I wanted to work at, which I don't, but let's say if I had a job that I wanted to work at and they didn't allow septum piercings, or they didn't allow piercings on the face, I could just flip it in when I go to work and flip it back out. And yeah, doesn't hurt. So overall, I love the piercing. If I had to do it all over again, I would get it again. Obviously, I like it because I'm still wearing it. Yeah, I really like it. I like the way it looks on me. Like I said, I would probably just try to get a little smaller jewelry, but I'm really fine with this. If I can't even find one, or if I don't end up liking a smaller jewelry, I'm really fine with the way it looks right now. But yep, that's my experience with getting a septum piercing, and hopefully I've answered any question maybe that you guys were thinking about when you're thinking about trying to get a septum piercing. But if you have one already, let me know down below what your healing process was like. Did it heal pretty good for you? One thing that I kept seeing was that people were getting it pierced, and the piercers were piercing it crooked, which I didn't really understand. I'm like, how can you pierce this crooked? But I guess you can pierce it to where the jewelry looks like this. So I was like, oh baby, no. So thank God, the lady that did it, she did an amazing job. It looks good, it looks even. Yeah, I like it. And that's really all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. I hope you be blessed, stay protected, stay filled with love and peace. Bye.